Welcome back to the channel, sports fans, tennis enthusiasts, and everyone tuning in from across the globe. We are standing on the precipice of an absolutely fascinating encounter, a match that perfectly captures the poetry, the generational overlap, and the sheer unpredictability of professional tennis. The grass court season is in full swing. The lawns are freshly manicured, and the air is thick with anticipation as we gear up for the Wimbledon Championships. But before we cross the English Channel, our eyes are firmly fixed on the WTA 500 event in Germany, the prestigious Bad Homburg Open. And tomorrow, at exactly 5 o'clock in the evening, we are being treated to a round of 16 doubles clash that has the entire sporting world buzzing with excitement. On one side of the net, we have the alternate pairing stepping into the spotlight, Australia's Alexander Osborne and the United States' Catherine Harrison. They are a duo with absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain, look and play the role of the ultimate giant killers. On the other side of the net, however, is a pairing that sounds like it was written in a Hollywood script. We are talking about the unprecedented cross-generational dream team of the legendary 46-year-old American icon Venus Williams and the 21-year-old Filipina sensation Alexandra Eala. Yes, you heard that correctly. The 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion, a woman whose name is synonymous with tennis royalty, is joining forces with the absolute brightest young star to ever emerge from the Philippines. The stakes for this match are uniquely layered. For Venus Williams and Alex Eala, this doubles campaign is no longer just a tune-up. It is their primary focus at Bad Homburg. Both of these incredible athletes suffered early heartbreaks in the singles draw. Eala, who came into this tournament riding an absolute wave of momentum, was unable to overcome the experience of Belgium's Elise Mertens, falling in straight sets in the opening round. It was her third loss to the Belgian veteran, a tough pill to swallow for the young Filipina. Hours earlier, Venus Williams herself engaged in an absolute marathon, a grueling three-set battle against Romania's Irina Camelia Begu, before narrowly dropping the final set tiebreak. Both competitors are coming off the sting of singles defeat, which makes them incredibly dangerous. They are hungry, they are focused, and they are looking for redemption on the doubles court. But let us take a moment to truly understand the gravity of who is stepping onto the grass tomorrow. Alex Eala is not just playing well. She is currently rewriting the history books for Southeast Asian tennis. She has just achieved a milestone that will be remembered for decades, becoming the very first Filipina player to ever be seeded in a Grand Slam tournament. She has secured the number 29 seed for the upcoming Wimbledon Championships, an accomplishment that sent shockwaves of pride throughout the Philippines. This historic achievement is the direct result of a spectacular string of recent performances. Just 2 weeks ago, she captured her second WTA singles crown by winning the Birmingham Open on grass. She followed that up with a phenomenal semifinal run at the Berlin Open, catapulted herself to a career-high ranking of number 30 in the world. She is playing the best tennis of her life, mastering the incredibly difficult nuances of the grass surface, and doing it with a maturity that completely defies her age. And then there is Venus Williams. What more can possibly be said about a woman who has fundamentally changed the landscape of sports? A 7-time Grand Slam singles champion, a 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion, all won alongside her sister Serena, a former world number 1 in both singles and doubles, 3 Olympic gold medals in doubles alone. She won her first Wimbledon title before Alex Eala was even born. Venus is making a triumphant return to the grass courts, her absolute favorite surface, for the first time since Wimbledon last year. The fact that she is out here at 46 years old, competing with the fire of a rookie, speaks volumes about her unquenchable passion for the game. She does not have to be here. She has nothing left to prove. But she is here because she loves the battle, and teaming up with a rising star like Eala shows her profound commitment to passing the torch and mentoring the next generation. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, these narratives will collide. A legend and a prodigy against a hungry team of alternates. The winner of this highly anticipated clash will advance to the quarterfinals to face the second-seeded duo of Slovakia's Teresa Milikova and Great Britain's Olivia Nichols. This is not just a tennis match. It is a story of resilience, legacy, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Buckle up, because we are about to dive deep into exactly how this match will unfold, the tactical matchups, the historical context, and everything you need to know before the first serve is struck. To fully appreciate what we're going to witness tomorrow afternoon in Bad Homburg, we have to meticulously break down the journeys, the playing styles, and the psychological frameworks of everyone involved in this round of 16 encounter. Let's begin by analyzing the absolute phenomenon that is Alexandra Eala, because what she has accomplished over the past few weeks is nothing short of extraordinary. For years, the tennis world has been watching Eala's development. Coming out of the Rafael Nadal Academy in Spain, she was marked very early on as a prospect with immense potential. But transitioning from a junior prodigy to a formidable force on the senior WTA Tour is notoriously one of the most difficult leaps in professional sports. The graveyard of tennis history is filled with brilliant juniors who could never quite figure out the grueling physicality and mental warfare of the main tour. Eala, however, has navigated this transition with a quiet, lethal confidence. Her current ranking of number 30 in the world is not a fluke. It is a culmination of relentless hard work and a very specific tactical evolution in her game. Playing on grass is an entirely different beast compared to hard courts or clay. The ball skids, the bounce is incredibly low and unpredictable, and the rallies are inherently shorter. It rewards aggressive, proactive tennis. Eala has adapted to this surface magnificently. Being a left-handed player gives her an immediate, natural advantage, especially on the serve. The lefty slice serve out wide on the ad court is one of the most dangerous weapons on grass, pulling the returner entirely off the court and opening up the down-the-line put-away. Eala has been utilizing this pattern brilliantly. Furthermore, her forehand has developed a heavy, penetrating trajectory. Instead of looping the ball with excessive topspin, which sits up perfectly in the strike zone on a hard court but gets punished on grass, she has flattened out her ground strokes. She is driving through the ball, taking it incredibly early and rushing her opponents. Winning the Birmingham Open just a couple of weeks ago was the ultimate validation of her grass court prowess. She proved she can withstand the pressure of a WTA final. Following that up with a deep run in Berlin showed that her body can handle the physical toll of back-to-back high-intensity weeks. Becoming the first Filipina to be seated at Wimbledon is a monumental psychological boost, but also brings a new level of pressure. Suddenly, you are not the underdog anymore. You are the target. You are the player that others want to beat to make their own headlines. Eala's early singles exit here in Bad Homburg against Elise Mertens might actually be a blessing in disguise. Mertens is an incredibly crafty veteran who knows exactly how to disrupt rhythm, and she gave Eala a masterclass in tactical disruption. Now, Eala can channel all of that frustration, all of that learning, directly into her doubles campaign. She doesn't have to worry about conserving energy for a singles run. She can empty the tank alongside one of her ultimate idols. Speaking of idols, we have to talk about Venus Williams. It is almost impossible to quantify the aura that Venus brings onto a tennis court. When she walks out onto grass, the surface where she has lifted the Venus rosewater dish 5 times in singles and 6 times in doubles, the atmosphere literally changes. At 46 years of age, her sheer presence is intimidating. But let us look beyond the legacy and analyze the actual tennis she is playing right now. Venus Williams is one of the greatest doubles players in the history of the sport. The synergy she had with Serena is obviously irreplaceable, but the fundamental mechanics that made Venus a legendary doubles player are still very much intact. First and foremost is her wingspan and her hands at the net. Venus at the net is an absolute wall. She has an innate, instinctual anticipation of where the ball is going to pass, and her reflexes, even in her mid-40s, are extraordinarily sharp. In doubles, the player controlling the net controls the match. Venus imposes a psychological pressure on the baseline players. They feel like they have to hit the perfect passing shot, because if they leave the ball even an inch too high, Venus is going to step across and punch the volley into the open court. Then there's the serve. Venus Williams revolutionized the women's serve in the late 90s, and on a grass court, that fluid, explosive motion is still a massive weapon. She might not be hitting 125 miles per hour anymore, but her placement, her heavy slice, and the sheer downward angle she gets because of her height make her an incredibly difficult player to break. In this partnership with Eala, the dynamic is perfectly balanced. You have the youthful, boundless energy and the baseline consistency of Eala, combined with the intimidating net presence and unparalleled tactical wisdom of Venus. Eala is known for her baseline grinding, her ability to run down every single ball and hit devastating ground strokes. In this doubles setup, Eala will likely take the role of the baseline anchor. Her job will be to hit deep, heavy returns, pin the opponents to the back of the court, and set up the point. Venus will be the closer. Venus will hover at the net, looking for any opportunity to poach, to intercept the cross-court rally, and to end the point efficiently. Furthermore, having a right-handed player and a left-handed player is statistically the most advantageous configuration in doubles. It means that both players can have their strong forehands covering the center of the court, which is where the vast majority of doubles points are contested and decided. But we absolutely cannot underestimate the team across the net. Alexander Osborne and Katherine Harrison are not here just to ask for autographs. They are the alternates, which means they got into this draw late. They are playing with house money, and they have absolutely zero pressure on their shoulders. That lack of pressure makes them incredibly dangerous. When you are playing against a legend like Venus Williams and a rising superstar like Eala, all of the media attention, all of the crowd expectation, is heavily skewed toward the marquee names. If Osborne and Harrison make an error, nobody blinks. If they hit a winner, they are suddenly giant killers. They can swing freely, take massive risks on their returns, and play a highly aggressive, high-variance style of tennis. Katherine Harrison brings a wealth of experience from the American collegiate system and the grueling ITF and Challenger circuits. She knows how to grind out victories, and she is an exceptionally capable doubles specialist. She understands the geometry of the doubles court. She knows how to communicate with her partner, and she will not be easily intimidated by the big stage. Alexander Osborne from Australia also has a game that translates well to doubles. Australians are traditionally raised on courts that demand good volleys and sharp transitional play. Osborne will be looking to serve and volley, to close the net tightly, and to force Eala and Williams to hit precise passing shots. Tactically, Osborne and Harrison have a very clear blueprint they need to attempt if they want to win this match. Their number one objective has to be keeping the ball away from Venus Williams at the net. If they get into standard cross-court rallies and leave the ball floating in the middle of the court, Venus will feast on those volleys all afternoon. Osborne and Harrison must use the lob effectively. On grass, the lob is a vastly underutilized weapon. If they can hit high, deep lobs over Venus's head, they can force the 46-year-old to backpedal, disrupting her forward momentum and forcing Eala to cover massive amounts of territory. Furthermore, they will likely target Venus's movement. While her hands and her serve remain elite, her lateral movement and her ability to quickly change direction are understandably not what they were 20 years ago. Osborne and Harrison will try to hit the ball directly at Venus's feet, forcing her to hit low, difficult half volleys, or they will try to hit sharp angles to make her stretch. On the flip side, when serving Eala, they need to target her right-handed backhand, pushing her out wide and opening up the center of the court. They have to serve with a high first serve percentage because if they give Eala second serves to look at, the young Filipina will step inside the baseline and absolutely punish the ball, setting Venus up for the easy put-away at the net. For Eala and Williams, the strategy is about asserting dominance early. They need to come out firing, hold their serves comfortably, and immediately put the pressure on the alternates. Communication will be the absolute key. Eala has admitted she is incredibly thrilled to play with her idol, but she cannot afford to be starstruck on the court. She has to communicate as an equal. She has to call the shots when the ball is in her zone, and she has to trust her instincts. Venus is an incredible mentor. She will undoubtedly be talking to Eala between every single point, offering advice on positioning, reading the opponent's return formations, and keeping the young star grounded. The significance of this match extends far beyond just advancing to the quarterfinals of the Bad Homburg Open. For Eala, this is a masterclass in preparation for Wimbledon. Being on the same side of the net as Venus Williams is essentially a crash course in grass court mastery. Venus knows exactly how the grass changes throughout the week, how the baseline gets worn out, how the ball behaves on the dew in the late afternoon. The insights she can share with Eala are invaluable. Things you cannot learn from a coach on the sidelines, but only from a champion in the heat of battle. Every game they play together, win or lose, Add a massive layer of experience to Eala's arsenal as she prepares to make her historic seeded debut at the All-England Club. For Venus Williams, this is about the joy of competition and the continuation of her legacy. She has given so much to the game of tennis, breaking down barriers and redefining what it means to be a female athlete. By taking a young, phenomenal talent like Eala under her wing, she is ensuring that her knowledge and her fighting spirit are passed down. It is a beautiful passing of the torch. When the crowd in Germany watches them play tomorrow, they will be looking at the glorious past and the brilliant future of women's tennis standing shoulder to shoulder. Let's look ahead for a moment. The winner of this match has a monumental task waiting for them in the quarterfinals. They will face the second-seeded team of Teresa Milikova and Olivia Nichols. Milikova and Nichols are established, elite doubles specialists who just dispatched the formidable Chinese team of Jiang Xinyu and Su Yifeng with relative ease, winning 6-2, 6-3. They are a well-oiled machine, completely in sync with their rotations and their poaching patterns. If Eala and Williams manage to get past Osborne and Harrison, that quarterfinal clash will be the ultimate litmus test of their chemistry. But they cannot look past tomorrow. In tennis, especially in doubles where a few points completely swing the momentum, looking ahead is the fastest way to book a flight home. In terms of prediction for tomorrow's round of 16 clash, the odds makers and the analysts are heavily leaning towards a star power. While Osborne and Harrison are capable and dangerous, the sheer firepower and the complementary skill sets of Eala and Williams are incredibly tough to bet against. Eala's heavy baseline game and Venus's legendary net play create a tactical nightmare for any opposing team. If Venus is serving well, and Eala is finding her forehand range on return, they have the ability to blow their opponents off the court. However, do not expect a total blowout. Doubles on grass is heavily dependent on holding serve, and one or two brilliant return games from the alternates could easily force a tiebreak. I anticipate that the first set might be closely contested as Eala and Williams figure out their on-court chemistry and their communication timing in a live match scenario. But once they lock in, their superior shot-making ability should take over. I am predicting a victory for Alexandra Eala and Venus Williams, likely in a highly entertaining, tightly contested two-setter, or perhaps a three-set thriller if Osborne and Harrison catch fire on their returns. Ultimately, the experience of Williams and the sheer, unbridled form of Eala will be too much for the alternates to handle in the decisive moments. As we wrap up this extensive preview, I want us to take a step back and truly appreciate the narrative we get to watch unfold tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Sports, at their very core, are about stories. We love the statistics, we love the spectacular highlights, and we love the fierce competition. But it is the human element, the storylines that truly captivate us and keep us coming back for more. The story of Alexandra Eala is one that inspires millions. A young girl from the Philippines, carrying the weight of an entire nation's sporting hopes on her shoulders, moving away from home to train in Spain, grinding to the junior ranks, and now standing on the precipice of absolute greatness. Becoming the first Filipina to be seated at Wimbledon is a barrier-breaking moment that will inspire the next generation of kids in Southeast Asia to pick up a tennis racket and believe that they too can compete on the world's biggest stages. She represents a global expansion of tennis, proving that elite talent can emerge from anywhere in the world if given the right dedication and opportunity. And then you have the story of Venus Williams, a narrative that is etched in the bedrock of sports history. She and her sister emerged from Compton, California, and fundamentally revolutionized a sport that was steeped in traditionalism. Venus has fought through injuries, she has fought through autoimmune diseases, and she has navigated the intense pressure of the spotlight for nearly 3 decades. The fact that she is still out there, racket in hand, diving for volleys on a grass court in Germany at 46 years old, is a testament to an unbreakable human spirit. She plays now not for the money, not for the fame, and not for the ranking points. She plays because tennis is her canvas, and she is still creating art. When these two women step onto court together tomorrow against Catherine Harrison and Alexandra Osborne, we are witnessing a beautiful collision of these two incredible journeys. We are seeing the fiery ambition of youth being guided by the serene wisdom of experience. Even though both Eala and Williams suffered early exits in the singles draw, their partnership in the doubles event has injected a massive jolt of electricity into the Bad Homburg Open. For the fans and attendants, And for everyone watching around the world, this is a rare treat. We will see if the alternate pairing of Osborne and Harrison can spoil the fairy tale. We will see if they can block out the noise, ignore the legendary resumes standing across the net, and execute a flawless tactical game plan to pull off what will be one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. But regardless of the final scoreline, the real victory is the spectacle itself. It is a continuation of the sport's magnificent cycle. Make sure you do not miss a single second of this match. It is scheduled for 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, though of course, as is always the case with outdoor grass court tennis, keep an eye on the weather and the matches preceding it, as the start time is always subject to shift. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive analysis. If you enjoyed this comprehensive breakdown, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notification bells so you never miss an update as we cover every angle of the professional tennis tour. Drop a comment down below and let me know your predictions. Do you think the star power of Eala and Williams will cruise to victory, or do you think the alternates are going to pull off a massive shocker on the German grass? I read every single comment, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Until next time, enjoy the incredible tennis. Appreciate the legends while they are still playing, and we will see you after the match for a full post-game breakdown. Take care, everyone.